Well, speaking with Tom Kinsman now, who's an inductee into the 2020 Manitoba Golf Hall of Fame. Congratulations on that, Tom. And I guess the reason why we're reaching out is you call Lloydminster home now, and have been out at the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Center, I believe, for a couple of years now. But we'll get to that, and we'll get to the induction. But why don't you kind of just start it off here for us? And how did you get into the game of golf and turn this into a really lengthy, phenomenal career?
Well, when you get as old as I am, it's a really long story. Earliest recollections were, I don't know, I was 10 or 11 and happened to follow my dad and his friends around a little 9-hole golf course where we lived, and he played. As a result, those friends dropped off a bag of wooden shafted golf clubs and an old bag of golf balls, and I hit them around a park behind our house for long hours in the summertime. From there, I ended up actually working in the back shop at that little 9-hole golf course when I was a kid. And then I ended up, from there, I attended Bemidji State University in Minnesota, played some college golf there. At the time, wasn't sure what I was going to do. Anyway, got an offer from Barry McQuaw in Winnipeg at Southwood Golf Club to become his assistant pro. And so I turned pro right after I graduated, and kind of continued on from there in the professional ranks.
Yeah, a very similar story for sure. Just, a lot of you guys that I talk to, it all starts with the parents are playing, grandparents or whatnot. But was there some competitive golf in your junior days, or just like to play it and used it for an education more than anything?
Certainly competed when I was a junior, caddied for some of my friends when I was a junior. Didn't have a whole lot of success, had some success in my college days, and then some professional success was early on. The last number of years has been more focused on teaching and coaching.
Yeah, and that was going to bring me to my next point here. Obviously, you're going in as a builder into the Hall of Fame, or I guess essentially you could probably be considered a player as well. But when did you realize that coaching might be just the best way for you to go about and pass on what you've learned in the game and continue to make it grow in your province?
When I was a young assistant, I was charged with running the junior program at Southwood Golf Club in Winnipeg. And there was an incredible group of kids there. They just pushed each other every day and wanted to get better. More than anything, wanted to beat each other's brains out on the golf course. And that produced a lot of success for them. Some provincial championships. Todd Fanning won back-to-back Canadian junior championships out of that group. From there, I was very fortunate to move to Vancouver and work at Shaughnessy for Jack McLaughlin. And Jack was a great junior golf leader through his lifetime. And then he got involved with the Canadian women's national team out there. And I got involved there I helped coach a little bit, but mostly from a club fitting standpoint with them, but got to know a lot of the players. One of them was Laurie Kane at the time. Laurie played for Canada in a number of events before turning professional. She was playing in the 1992 Du Maurier Classic at St. Charles in Winnipeg. And I walked the practice round with her, and then we had lunch, and she introduced me to Aileen Robertson, who was a Winnipegger. And Aileen and I started working together, and her success kind of blossomed. She was a great player before we got together, but she kind of got it over the top after a couple of years with her. And then it just kept growing from there. The number of players that I got to work with in Manitoba was just a phenomenal group. A couple of them are in the Hall of Fame in Manitoba already. One of them, Rhonda Orr, is going in with me in our class. So it's pretty special, and I'm very fortunate to work with a lot of great players.
Absolutely. And then, you got involved with the administration side of it, and, 7 years, I think, as a board member with Manitoba's association, and a 3-year president too, I believe. So does anything really just, stand out for you in that time, again, on the administrative side, and maybe bringing that pro aspect to the Amateur Association in Manitoba?
I mean, you want to give back, right? And that's basically what, most of us do when we get on those boards and stuff. You want to give back and to your fellow guys and help your peers out as much as you can. We had a lot of growth at that time, and then kind of it slowed down, obviously, in a lot of areas. But it was very rewarding to work for my fellow professionals. And hopefully we grew the game a little bit.
Yeah, I would think that you probably have. It's a strong game right now, especially just talking to Garth, last week he said, golf in the prairies is great right now. And with the pandemic, thankfully, we've been able to continue our sport. Again, so you get the word from the Manitoba Association, you're going to the Hall of Fame, and you've obviously got tons of honors with wins and Teacher of the Year awards. But how does it feel to be named going into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I was very fortunate to work for Garth in his summer games programs a couple of times, and that was it was working with younger players, and that was a lot of fun and very rewarding, and to experience the games situation. I'd never done that before, and I went through it twice with Garth's staff, and it was a lot of fun, very rewarding. Where were we, Clark?
Just the meaning of getting into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, sorry, I kind of got off of that. It's what the whole thing is incredibly humbling. You don't go into an endeavor with that in mind at the end. A lot of people help you get there. As I mentioned before, lots of great players, some family influence, obviously. The peers that I kind of grew up with in the business were terrific to me and helped me develop. It's just, like I say, there's so many people that helped you get to this point. It's very humbling. I'm very appreciative.
Sure. And then, of course, I came across a story on Twitter and whatnot, and I was just kind of reading through the comments, and I'm not the name of the gentleman escapes me now. He said, you've been a great asset to Lloydminster Golf and Curling Center the last couple of years. I'm like, oh, okay, so there's a connection here. And then I asked Steve Ride, our professional in Golf Saskatchewan. He said he's played a couple rounds with you in the events. But so what brought you? I think you're in Alberta on that side, but again, Lloydminster is one of our clubs. So I guess what kind of brought you there, and how are things going out there?
So Lloydminster is right on the border. Obviously, everybody knows that. We live in Alberta, and I work in Saskatchewan. So golf-wise, it's definitely Saskatchewan. We moved here primarily for my wife's job. She's the minister at Grace United Church here in Lloydminster. And one of the things that brought her here was the amount of outreach that they're doing here in the community. Grace is doing a phenomenal job for people here in Grace, and Kathy is really enjoying being part of that. Her church family has been incredibly welcoming, as has the golf community for me. The people here in Lloyd have been really kind and helpful, and I can't say enough about the move. It's been really enjoyable.
So are you the assistant pro helping Marty out, or kind of what's your role at the club there?
Yeah, hopefully I'm helping Marty out. He was kind enough to hire me. He needed some help in the shop, and I'm very appreciative of everything he's done for me. And hopefully I'm helping out in that regard. Obviously COVID has helped golf a little bit, as you know, right across the province, right across the country. And so the instruction side of it has really taken off this past summer, with people not having much else to do, and the amount of instruction that I provided to to adult beginners and families was a blast. Absolutely.
Great. Are you still going to be continuing to do that for a few more years? Is that in the plans?
Absolutely. I hope, unless Marty wants to make some changes there, I hope I can stick around for a while.
Well, that's great. Congratulations on all your success. Just sounds like a fantastic career, Tom. And we know we spent mostly in Manitoba. We'll call you one of ours now. Congrats, and thanks for doing this today.
Great. And there is some Saskatchewan connections. One of the kids that I that I coached. Charlie Boyechko won the Saskatchewan Am one year before he turned professional. I was very fortunate to work with some kids, some guys, some professionals with Saskatchewan roots. Greg Dukart and I worked together at Shaughnessy. He just retired from Wascana.
Yeah, great.
Tim Tate and Dave Coos worked with me at Shaughnessy, and they're Saskatoon boys. So there's been some Saskatchewan connections along the way.